Now, we're just getting started here today, but I'm sure you're ready and eager to learn how you can begin to work with DARPA and the various paths a DARPA journey can take. Moderated by Jen Thabit, this next panel discussion will cover the many pathways available for engaging with DARPA. Think of this session as a roadmap to kickstarting your DARPA journey. Please welcome our panelists.
Okay. Hi, guys. While my panelists are getting seated, we thought we would take this time to switch things up a little bit, right? We are here to teach you about how to become a performer, but we recognize that there is a lot of great thinkers in the audience. And so we want to take a quick pause to talk about different opportunities at DARPA. We want to do this now so that as we go into networking breaks, you guys can explore a little bit and have some, hopefully, some discussions and open up your eyes to other ways to join and engage in the DARPA ecosystem. So to kick things off, I want to go down the line a little bit. Tiffany will give you a break for a minute. You can go last. Colleen, we'll start with you. And in just about a minute or so, could each of you tell us what brought you to DARPA and what your journey has been like so far?
Okay, now we're in business. Thanks, Jen. I joined DARPA about a year ago, and the opportunity came to me through my network. I'm the Chief Talent Officer here with DARPA. I'm actually from the private sector, and it's been an incredible opportunity for me to come into the Department of War and get a glimpse into everything that goes on to support our war fighters. It's been an incredibly inspiring journey. It's an incredible group of people, and I feel very fortunate to have the experience.
My name is James Velez, and I'm a DARPA Innovation Fellow. And I've always sort of thought of myself as an academic. I saw that as being my career path, really, for a very long time. And the Innovation Fellowship came maybe at the right point in my academic career, that I could see the opportunity to work at an agency like DARPA and think about not just the next research paper or the next proposal, but how to get a bunch of proposals to tackle a really hard problem. And so I've also been really impressed by the culture and the work ethic at DARPA.
Hi, my name's Rob Newton. I am basically a government contractor that works at DARPA. My path to DARPA, basically long and winding path. After college graduation, my first job was working for a defense contractor, supporting the Navy. I did that for a number of years, both in engineering and then moving into acquisition and business financial management. I left, went for into the private sector for about 9 years, and then I came back, still supporting the Navy. And the firm that I work with had an opening in DARPA, and I was very interested in taking that, and I got the position. But long story, that's how I wound up at DARPA.
My name is Mac Rich. I'm a contracting officer at DARPA. I'm in charge of our SBIR and STTR cell. So if you are selected for an SBIR or an STTR, there's about a 50% chance that you will deal with me, and I look forward to it. I started my career at the Navy. I was a contract specialist for about 7 years. I worked on operational type things, and then I shifted to R&D, where I really sort of learned that I enjoyed that. And then I always knew that DARPA was like the pinnacle of R&D. And so a position came up, I applied, and then they hired me as a contracting officer. I've supported various technical offices, and then recently DARPA set up the SBIR and STTR cell just for those contracts, and now that's where I am.
So my journey was very circuitous also. Did my PhD in infectious disease, taught for a couple of years at Duke. I, did a computational biology, microbial ecology out here in the West and at Boulder, doing toad conservation. And I always thought I was going to be an academic. I thought I was going to be a professor, and that didn't happen. And I was very sad. But then I learned that there's all these really cool, exciting careers out there that don't necessarily have tenure track. much to the chagrin of my MD PhD advisor. Anyway, so I started working at a bioag firm. I was part of their microbiome cell. And then I saw this really cool listing for a job that sounded like perhaps maybe I could work at Disney World, but for like scientists. And I said, yeah, all chips in, I'm going in. And so I did, and I never regretted it.
Thanks, guys. I'm going to break moderator rules for a minute and tell you that I too actually started out as a contractor. I'm actually an attorney by trade, and I thought I was going to practice forever until I started practicing. And then I found DARPA. And I had no idea that the agency existed, probably much like many of you. And I certainly had no idea that there was a home for me there. And so I started as a contractor, and I was in many technical offices. And then I was approached by Colleen's predecessor to come and run the small business programs office because I had a heart for service and a passion for small business. And so as you guys sit here today, we're teaching you kind of how to be a performer, but I'm hopeful that this session will open your eyes to the fact that there are so many other ways to engage with us. There are so many ways to contribute to the ecosystem as an innovation fellow for 2 years, as a program manager, as a contracting officer. For those that maybe are teachers that have financial students, we have business financial managers. We run the gamut. And so with that said, DARPA is a pretty unique place to work. You can see we all enjoy having fun together. I hope you're getting that from our PM engagement this morning so far. But I want to ask our panelists, and Tiffany, I'm going to start with you, and we're going to work down the line, and I've got a method to my madness for that. But thinking back to your first few months at DARPA, what was the most surprising thing really that you discovered about the DARPA culture or even the work itself?
Most surprising thing. So when I was doing my PhD, when I was working at the bioag firm, when I was always very focused on this thing, but I am a perpetual learner. I love to learn, and I just want to read all the things all the time, and learn about all the things all the time. And I think the most surprising thing for me was the ability and the latitude that I had to become an expert in pretty much anything that I wanted to become an expert in, literally Disney World for scientists. That was the most exciting and surprising thing, because I think throughout my academic career, throughout my professional career, it had always been very, very focused. And if you've ever seen the Lego movie, the song Everything is Awesome, that's my theme song. So anyway, everything is awesome, and I wanted to learn about everything, and this is actually one of those places where you get to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that. As a contracting officer supporting all the technical offices, I've learned about AI, quantum computing, toads, UUVs. You say it, we've probably learned about it because all of our PMs are really, really smart. And the work that you all do to support them is incredible. The one thing about DARPA is that it's a real yes culture, because we know what is going on is really important. If it needs to be done, we have to be able to do it. So the flexibility that DARPA has in terms of getting you on contract and executing work so that way we can fulfill the PM's visions,
to make that possible. And so, as a government contractor who come over from supporting the Navy, big difference. My role at DARPA is I work in the Strategic Technology Office, so I have government employees who are my clients. I support them in acquisition and business financial management areas. And I will say the big difference was coming from the Navy, things were very slow to move, slow to pivot, slow to adapt. Kind of if you think of an aircraft carrier, it takes a long time for it to make a U-turn, whereas DARPA was more like a fast speed patrol boat, very adaptable, very flexible. It would seem like maybe fires are happening all the time. It's because pivots and changes are happening all the time, but I liked it. It was exciting. And I'd say another big difference between my work in the Navy and my work in DARPA, somebody will correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think there's maybe around 200 government employees in this big building. and there's probably 1,800 to 2,000 people that have badge access to get into the building. And so the 1,800 or 2,000 minus 200 is their contractors. And at DARPA, as a government contractor, we are relied upon in ways that it's not the same where I was at the Navy. We're one team, one fight, and yeah, it's a very unique place.
I guess I would echo all of the comments that have been made so far. But as someone with a primarily academic background, I would say one of the things that I noticed first and maybe most prominently is the sense of mission at DARPA. That's really imbued throughout the entire organization and everyone who works there. And it's a mission that matters, and also being able to meet some of the people who we can improve their situation through the technology we develop has been really an incredible part of the experience.
Thanks. I completely agree. I think what struck me when I first joined was how mission-driven the organization is, and the urgency that people work with, because I think they feel a sense of responsibility to deliver. There's a variety of backgrounds in the organization, and it was an obvious common thread that was really inspiring.
All right, Colleen, I'm going to give this mic back to you. We've recently gone through lots of changes and transitions at DARPA, and I think the biggest change for me was that we now have a chief talent officer. Importance of what we do here in finding the right people. So, Colleen, from your perspective, right, what makes DARPA a unique, compelling place to come and build a career?
Quite often you do hear it's the people that make a place, but truly at DARPA, it is an incredible, incredible group of people. And again, that common thread all tied by the mission and delivering for the warfighter and national security. The other thing that I would like to highlight is that we have a very unique talent cycle. Our PMs are time limited, and it creates this really beautiful tension. You heard them speak earlier about having to move quickly. They work with urgency, and it's because they know that they only have a few years to make their mark. Whatever it is that they came to do, we want them to do it, but we're not going to give them unlimited time to do it in. So they move very quickly, and they're focused on innovation within our CETA ranks, which is our government contractors, and our support side, our GS side. The spirit of innovation and the art of what's possible is constantly alive and well, really to keep up with the PM. So you see people coming in on the PM front, leaving, and in that sort of cycle is this ability to have new, fresh ideas come and go through the agency. It's pretty incredible.
Thank you. I think when she said variety of staff, she probably meant quirky, and I'm good with that. Yeah. But Colleen, I want to keep us on time. I'm going to hand this back to you one last time and then close up. I do want to tell people, if they are interested in learning about opportunities, how can they find out more?
Absolutely. So we recently redid our website, and with that, our career site as well. So you can go to darpa.mil and navigate to careers, and there's lots of information on there, including a list of all of the companies that we use to bring in our contractor talent. It is a huge pool of talent for us. So PM is obviously a premier role for us, but without our government support staff and without our contractors, they would struggle. So careers site is one. DARPA Connect information, absolutely. There's some good resources there to just learn more about navigating the agency. And in the back, we have a booth, a recruiting booth. So we've got a number of people there ready to talk. So if you are interested and want to learn more about how to come to DARPA in any capacity, go find them.
All right, I'd like to thank my panelists. This has already been a lot this morning, but I hope so far it has been a good start and really informative. We are going to roll into our first networking break, and I encourage you to get coffee and then find a cost, whatever. Our program managers or contracting officers use this time to come and chat and talk with us. Don't hold your questions for the end, because we handpick our program managers and our contracting officers on purpose. They are the ones that are very outgoing. Actually, most of them are. And they want to hear and talk from you because they get their ideas from chatting with you. So with that, thank you guys all for your attentiveness this morning. And I will turn it back over to Sana to head us into break.
Thank you, Jen, and thank you to our panelists. As Jen said, the day is flying by and we're already at our first networking break for the day. This will be a 30-minute break for you to grab some coffee and get to know our incredible regional partners who've set up tables just outside of this room. They're here to share a ton of wonderful resources with you. And as Colleen mentioned, DARPA Strategic Resources Office also has a table and is on hand here to discuss opportunities for DARPA employment. Enjoy, and we'll see you back here at 10:45 a.m. Thank you.